Hi book besties, Shrini here. Do you guys like my new setup? I'm trying out a new camera for you guys. Let me know what you guys think. So welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the 6 books I have read in March. The first one is First Time Caller by B.K. Boris. I was so excited to read this book because a lot of book besties have compared this to Sleepless in Seattle. But when I was reading the book, I did not experience that vibe from the book. The same one we saw in Sleepless in Seattle. But I love this story. I rated this 4.5 stars. And in this, we follow Aiden Valentine and Lucy Stone. So Aiden is a radio host in Baltimore, a radio station, and he's conducting this program called Heartstrings. So in that, people talk about love and finding partners, how to go on dates, things like that. Aiden Valentine, even though he talks about love day in and day out, he doesn't really believe in love, ironically. Lucy, she has a daughter and she's not actually raising her daughter as a single mom. She has the support of the father of her daughter, which is also happens to be her best friend. It's such a cute premise. You need to read the book to understand the dynamics of that found family. And so one day, Lucy's daughter calls into this Heartstrings program, hoping that she could help her mother's lack of love life, and she wants her mother to find happiness again. That's the premise of the story. I really love this book, and I think this may be my favorite B.K. Borison book ever, because B.K. Borison has given us something beyond romance, something beyond the cute love story he usually writes in her books. And she delves into these deep topics like loneliness, incompatibility, and mental struggles as well. And the aspect of found family in this story is so heartwarmingly cute. I'm really sure that you will enjoy this book just like I did. The second one is Not in My Book by Katie Holt. In this, we follow Rosie Maxwell and Aiden Huntington. They are following this degree in creative writing. So Rosie loves romance stories, and Aiden is more into fantasy, and he thoroughly hates romance stories. So they are kind of rivals in the university, and they go back and forth with their commentary and bickering and things like that. I had trouble with my imagination while reading this book. Let me explain. You know how you imagine, picture certain character as you read the book? Because author has given you that privilege. Like they describe how, let's say in this book, Rosie, the author would usually describe, so her eyes were blue, she had wavy hairs, her height is this, and she dresses in a certain way. Based on that information, you would be able to build an image in your mind how the female main character in the book would look like if you see her in real life, you know. Do you guys do that? I usually do. I have spoken to other fellow readers and they said they also do that. That's why we have fan cast, you know, the pictures. So this actor would suit this character better. Do you guys remember 50 Shades of Grey when the movie first came out? Because I was, as every girl did, We were obsessed with 50 Shades of Grey, and when that movie came out, the casting was all wrong, in my opinion, because that was not how I imagined Anna and Christian to be. And they were nothing like those who were in the book, and I was enraged. So I had trouble imagining Rosie or Aiden because the author kept changing the personalities, kept changing their characteristics, I think, throughout the book. And I was just going with the flow, I was just reading words on paper. I couldn't imagine anything. Because of that, I couldn't connect to these characters, not with female or male main character, not with the friends in the book. The story, like the premise, the background story, it was actually really cute. And if the author has done a better job of bringing these characters to life, like in your imagination, like helping you to connect with these characters through her words, I think it would have been better. I don't know if you guys had the same experience like I did. Please let me know. I'm really curious to know what you guys think of this book if you have read this. I rated this 3 stars because the story was it was good. But due to that reason, I couldn't really care about what was happening in the story. I didn't really feel anything when I finished the book, which is really sad. And the next one is The Housemaid by Freda McFadden. Guys, this was a 5-star read for me. I loved this book. And because one of my favorite genres to read is mystery and thriller, detective crime books, I ate this up. And a lot of book besties have commented in these reviews of the book saying they didn't expect the plot twist at the end. But I'm not going to say I'm a genius, I figured all it out, but kind of suspected that something was amiss because certain character was too good to be true. There should be something wrong with this character. Cannot be this perfect. And I was right. I didn't figure out the plot twist exactly, but I was a bit close. In this story, we follow Millie, who has started working as a housemaid in this family. That is Nina, Andrew, and Cecilia. This is a really wealthy family and it's a big house. And as Millie starts working for them, she finds some things that are really strange happening around the house, especially Nina. She lies about so many things, so unnecessary things that's happening in the daily life. And she also finds peculiar things about their daughter Cecilia. Most importantly, she finds that the lock in her room is fixed from outside. So the first thought that crosses her mind is that so anyone can lock me in my room. Story goes from there. This kept me hooked throughout the story. Since this story was so disturbing and gory, and I wouldn't say gory, but right at the end, the story was so disturbing. I decided I will not finish the series because I kept thinking about the story over and over, even after I finished the book. So I thought, no, this is too much. I cannot take more disturbance anymore. So I thought of not finishing the series, but it's been a month since I finished the book. I think now I'm in the right headspace. I can start the second book. Let's see, I'm hoping to do it this month. The next one is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. This is a high school sweetheart story. So this couple, Sarah and Caleb, they are already married in the story. I didn't know what to expect going into the story. This couple, they are having some communication issues in their relationship. They want to try out couples retreat. It's not a combination of a retreat and counseling. The fun part is they both are not very outdoorsy people. So they are very anxious to go on this hike in the woods and with no showers or like proper toilets or anything like that. And it's such a fun story. I enjoyed this story, but I hate to say this, but I think at first I didn't like Sarah's character at all. As the story went by, I sympathized with the character. I understood where she was coming from. But even at the end, I still didn't like her character. I think that's a personal thing. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm really sorry if this is one of your favorite authors. I gave this 3.5 stars. The next one is Before Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. This was another 5-star read for me, even though this book is just, I think, under 200. This was 192 pages. This was such a phenomenal book, and I loved every page of this book. You will find 4 short stories in this book. Premise of the book is this cafe in Tokyo, the cafe called Funicula, offers an opportunity for its customers to travel back in time to the past, where you can meet somebody and talk to them. But there are few rules that you have to obey. You cannot change the past at all. Nothing you do will change the past or the present or the future. You have to sit in a certain chair. There's only one chair that allows you to travel back in time. Coffee must be poured by a certain person. That person is the only one who can pour the coffee for you. Most importantly, you need to come back to the present before the coffee gets cold. There will be severe consequences who do not listen to this last rule. You will know when you read the book what those consequences are. So this book is really a bittersweet one. It delves into the deep end of sorrow and happiness as well. It gives us this perspective in life that nothing in life is black or white. It's a mixture of the both, happiness and sorrow. You'll be really sad reading this book, let me warn you. You'll be really sad, but you will have really happy moments throughout the book. Even though every short story is glazed with misery, you can also see what really life is about beyond that sadness. This makes you think of your own mortality and what really matters in life. So this is such a meaningful read. If you haven't heard of this book, or if you haven't read this book, if you haven't seen any reviews of this book, I request you not to even listen to more detailed reviews. Just read the book. It's just 192 pages. This will teach you so many things about life. The last book of March that I've read is Heart Principle by Helen Hoang. Helen Hoang is one of my favorite authors. If you're familiar with the Kiss Quotient, that's her first book, I believe. Loved that book and loved her writing in that book. I thought I'll really enjoy this book as well. Even though I've seen some reviews of the book stating that this book is such a sad story, but it has sort of a happy ending. I want to ask those book girlies to define happy ending. I rated this book 3 stars. The reason I didn't enjoy this book, it's so sad, you guys. It's really sad. I couldn't find the light at the end of the tunnel even. I couldn't find it. And my heart kept breaking with every chapter. And as an empath who gets affected by words very often, I couldn't take the pain. There was this chapter where Anna's son, that is our female main character, is caring, attending for her father who's really sick. And I couldn't take the pain. I wanted to DNF the book at that stage, but I thought, okay, I'll power through and see what's the ending has to offer. Ending wasn't great either. In this, we follow violinist Anna's son, who has gotten famous through a viral video of her playing the violin to an audience, playing the violin beautifully. So people have loved the video and it has gone viral. So since then, Anna is struggling to recreate the same magic, the same level of performance that she did in that video, and she has this mental block of a sort. So she's seeing a therapist and she's working towards the goal that is to perform better. Also been dumped by her boyfriend of 5 years. The boyfriend says it's better that they see other people and he wants to have an open relationship. Anna wants to try dating other people. That's how she meets Kwan Deer. Kwan is a business owner and he also has gone through a life-altering event in recent times in his life, and he's trying to navigate his life post that traumatic event. Then he meets Anna and the story goes from there. I couldn't enjoy the book because there was very little to enjoy in this book, and author is giving snippets of happiness to you, just a little bit morsels of happiness, and snatching them right away, even before you feel the happiness within you. That's how I felt reading this book, and it was like constant struggle of putting the book away or powering through to the end. I gave this 3 stars. I'm not denying the fact that everything that Helen has talked about in this book are true, even though I can only imagine how a person feels when attending, caring for a sick relative or a loved one or a parent. I can only imagine that part. I can, of course, relate to the way certain ethnicities value or prioritize their life. In this book, we follow this Asian sort of household ethnicity and how the parents think, what are the expectations of parents and how they prioritize life, what do they value in life. Every aspect, everything that Helen has spoken about in this book are true. I just don't want to read about it. It's so heartbreaking and disturbing, and I was expecting a balance of misery and happiness in this book, but I got only misery part of it. I couldn't find the happiness in this book. So I'm not saying you won't enjoy the book if you read it. It's just I didn't have a good experience reading this. That's all I'm going to say. Those are the 6 books I have read in March. Please let me know your thoughts about these books. What were your rating of these books and what are you currently reading? How was your March? How is your April looking? To be honest, I haven't picked up a book yet in April. It's been already 5 days. I haven't, because life has been a bit busy for me. I have had free time in this past week. I just didn't feel like picking up a book for some reason. I'll update you through my Instagram stories whenever I decide to pick up a book. So I'll meet you with a new video soon. Bye for now.